Welcome to Point Blank. This is your host, Panama Crypto. Today, our guest is TraderKoz. He's part of the new wave of pro crypto trader and investor. Welcome, Koz. Good to have you in Point Blank, my man.
Thanks, Panama. Good to be here, man.
Awesome. Let's kick it off. So, who is TraderKoz? What are your interests beside crypto, man?
So outside of crypto, I'm into pretty much anything outdoors. I love to go camping, love to go hiking. Um, I'm pretty into traditional finance. I studied finance in university, and so I keep up with financial markets as well as crypto markets. But yeah, as far as hobbies go, I just love getting outside.
That's awesome. So, what have you been up to lately? Have you been going to trekking, off-roading?
I haven't done a ton recently. Recently, I've been pretty busy. Got married a little over 2 months ago, and so then we went on our honeymoon, and we've actually been getting some work done to our house, and so we've kind of just been laying low. Um, haven't gone on as many adventures as I would have liked, except for our honeymoon, we went to a couple cool spots. One of those was Joshua Tree. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or been there. It's in Southern California. We stayed at a cool Airbnb there. Um, and so that was a lot of fun. That was a cool adventure. But pretty much just laying low the last couple months. I'm working on getting my truck built out, as I've talked to you before. Get that ready for some overlanding and go on some fun adventures with that. So that's kind of what I'm working towards.
Yeah, get it ready before summer and post-COVID apocalypse. Cause
That's my
what your
plan.
beginning in crypto looked like. I see you started your crypto
Yeah.
Twitter
So
on early 2018.
yeah, I was using my real Twitter for a little while, um, just following some people here and there. I still check it sometimes, and it's kind of funny to see like the people I was following and interacting with on that Twitter. But yeah, so I got started in it was probably October or November of 2017. A buddy of mine in university um, told me about crypto, and I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. Started looking into it. And at that point, it was during Bitcoin's like parabolic rise to 20K when I got interested. Luckily, I got to start a little bit. I had a couple weeks. I remember Bitcoin was at 8K the first time I looked. And then it would just go to 10K, 12K, 13. And I was like, oh my gosh, this thing just goes straight up. um, and then just kept buying and ended up losing a lot of money because I had no idea what I was doing. But that kind of fueled my motivation to learn more and actually learn how to trade and not just buy the top and hold on to these cryptocurrencies. And so ever since then, I've kind of just been grinding on trading, perfecting, well, not perfecting, because I don't think any of us could ever become a perfect trader, but working more towards becoming a better trader over the last, I guess, a little over 3 years now. Um, so yeah, it's all thanks to one of my college buddies. I think he actually told me what Litecoin was first. Or I mean, he mentioned Bitcoin, but Litecoin was the one he was really excited about.
So you mentioned your background is in finance. What is your professional background, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. So I when I graduated college, university, I had a finance degree and I actually only traded for a while. I was really into trading, and luckily I got started in trading while I didn't really have many expenses because I was in college. So like I had student housing and everything like that. So it was a really good time for me to learn. Um, and so I traded full time for about a year after that, after I graduated, which was a little over a year ago now. Um, but then didn't really want my finance degree to completely go to waste. So I'm doing a little bit of work for a wealth management firm. I do portfolio research for them. But it's a super fun job, super flexible. And I've got my charts open on one screen and I'm doing other work on my other screen basically the whole day. So super
And
flexible. I pretty much,
shit posting.
yeah, exactly. Just goofing off on Twitter, especially recently, man. I don't know what's gotten into me, but I have just been on a tear with posting a bunch of stupid stuff.
What happened with the lemon, man?
Dude,
What was all that
yeah.
about?
So the lemon, everyone's calling me like the lemon trader and stuff like that. And if someone doesn't agree with me, they just tell me to go eat a lemon. But basically, I, I made a bet that it was kind of a stupid bet because I wasn't making this bet with anyone else. It was just a bet with myself. I said, I said Bitcoin to 19.7 before 17.9. And I think at that point it was probably 18.8 maybe. I'm pretty sure it was like equidistant from each one, like $1,000 or $900 from each target. And I said if it hits 17.9 before 19.7, I would eat a lemon with the peel on it. And sure enough, I lost the bet, ended up eating the lemon. And I pretty much called the bottom because we bounced at 17.9 and then went up to 24K from there. So everyone on crypto Twitter, oh, thank you card for that.
Do you have any crypto price going on right now?
Like like crypto projects.
Yeah.
Um,
Like everybody's building
yeah,
something. Everybody's has like a paid group,
yeah,
massive Telegram group. What are you up to?
yeah. Right now, I'm honestly just focusing on posting free stuff on Twitter, and I do have a free Telegram. The link is in my bio for that, where I'm just kind of posting a lot of analysis. I'm posting some trades I take. I try to post like pretty much every chart I look at on Twitter, but then I'll usually give like a even more detailed um, analysis text wise in Telegram. And if you like my charts, but like don't like anything else I say on Twitter, then the Telegram's a good spot because I stay away from all the BS on Telegram. But yeah, it's just focusing on putting out a bunch of free content, trying to give back to the community. Um, I am planning to start doing a bunch of free live streams, make some more videos. I've been pushing out some of those like bite-sized videos, I call them, those 2-minute videos that Twitter
That's
lets you
those are
upload.
pretty nice.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
think,
similar to what Kurush is
yeah,
doing, the turbo
his turbo
analysis.
ones,
I
yeah.
like those.
And SZ has the snippet vids. But yeah,
Those are also really good.
I just think it's a cool way to get out more thoughts than what Twitter's character limit can cap you with, and I think it gives people a more of an insight into kind of what I'm looking at or what I'm thinking when I can kind of talk through it. Um, so yeah,
Dope. So, Cos, can you elaborate on your trading style?
yeah.
The type
So
of trading indicators you use the most?
mhm. I trade price action. I don't really use any indicators. A lot of my setups are based around stop runs, liquidity. I use some ranges, and then I also use like weekly opens, monthly opens, and Monday's range and stuff like that. So I'm kind of a little bit
Is
of a
that's sort of the SC style of
yeah.
trading,
I've
right?
I've definitely learned quite a bit from him. A lot of the ranges, the range stuff I've learned from him. And then I guess I do use some ICT concepts, but not I never learned those directly from him. I think I've kind of picked those up secondhand through people on Twitter, guys like Maine, um, learned from him. And so I've picked up some things there. I don't know if you remember Bit Dealer and Sting. They had a pretty
Yeah,
cool
of course.
journal back in the day. And so I used to talk with those guys about every day. I still try and keep up with them now and then, but you know, we're all busy with things we're working on, but I've learned quite a few things from each of those guys. Um, I've honestly kind of picked up things from a lot of different people and then just kind of worked on things myself, a lot of journaling, to kind of figure out what works best for me. And I've kind of just taken all these things from different places and created a style for myself
So
that's
you
been working.
basically adopted some of the CT influencers modus operandi of trading, more or less.
Yeah, more or less.
What bad things have you adopted from the CT influencers?
Well, I mean, so like I was saying, from guys like SZ, I was learning ranges and stuff like that.
I mean,
Um,
bad things you learned.
oh, like bad habits.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Or
When I
shit
first started,
strategies.
yeah, I mean, when I before I had my own Twitter, when I was kind of just following people, I remember this one person was trying to tell everyone Litecoin was going to like 2000, so I fell into that trap.
The usual shill and dump.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Charlie Lee dumped on all of us.
At the exact top.
Yeah, he's a genius for that.
Yeah, no doubt. So how your trading style has evolved from back when you started?
Well, back then I was kind of using indicators as a crutch. I was into the RSI and the MACD. I think a lot of people kind of started with that stuff, and I was like, oh, this seems super simple. Like I'll just look for a bullish divergence and then go long or whatever, you know? Like I feel like that's how a lot of people kind of started out. They're like, oh, I just got to learn a couple indicators and then trading will be easy. But you become humbled and you learn very quickly that that is um, not how it works. It's not that easy. If it was, we would all be billionaires right now. We'd all be retired. um, but then I kind of got motivated to learn more price action. I was thinking like if I can really read strict price action, then I could use other things. I could add other things into that. But once I could read a chart just in its most basic and pure form, um, that would kind of help me in the big picture. So I guess when I started, I was kind of using indicators and thinking that that was going to just take me to the promised land. And while I do think there is some value in indicators, I don't think it's something that people should like completely rely on.
That's a good advice. Do you
Mhm.
have a legacy in crypto market forecast for next year?
I mean, crypto, I'm pretty dang bullish on. I don't
Moon
know
and
how you
Lambo?
can't be. Yeah, yeah, pretty much Moon and Lambo. No, I mean, if you pull up a weekly chart, you pull up a monthly chart, like I mean, we've pretty much been going straight up since September. Like it's kind of ridiculous. I do think that there will be some dips. It feels like a lot of people on Twitter these days are kind of thinking that we won't ever dip anymore because institutions are buying, and I don't really fully buy into that idea. Like I do think more money and more mainstream adoption coming into crypto will um, help with things like that, with these huge scam dumps that we used to have in the past. But that doesn't mean crypto won't have market cycles anymore or anything like that. You know, it's still a market that people can make money from, going long and going short. And um, but overall, it's definitely a buy the dip type of market. And I don't think anyone can really argue with that at this point. Um, but yeah, I mean, with how I trade, the really high time frame predictions don't really impact my day-to-day trading. I think it's still kind of fun to speculate about like, oh, maybe this will happen, high time frame, maybe this will happen, but in the end, I try and play things level to level, like to to give a current example. Um, we recently swept a bunch of those lows at 22.3K. So I took a long there and I'm still in that. And I'm looking to play that back up to around 24K. And, like we'll see what happens there. If we come back down and lose 22.3, I'll be looking for my next level of support lower. It's kind of hard for me. And I also think maybe a little irresponsible to be like, oh yeah, I definitely think we're going to go to X price level. I think those kind of predictions are more just guesses. I do think that there can be some like theory and probability behind it, but for the most part, like I try and take things day to day with my trading, and I think getting too distracted with, oh, it has to retest this level on the weekly, having something like that ingrained in your brain can kind of mess up your day to day.
What levels don't you think Bitcoin is going to touch ever again?
That's a good question. And that's that's a little bit of a taboo question, I think. I think if you ever go on Twitter and say we'll never see X level again, you're gonna get a bunch of hate because of that one dude who kept saying we would never see 10K again every single time we got above it. Um, but I would say if I had to guess, and I guess this is like pretty much just a guess because
Yeah.
no one can really tell. And like I said, this guess or whatever doesn't really change my day-to-day trading at all. Um, but I think it's hard to believe we'd get below like maybe around 8K again.
That's pretty conservative. I was thinking
Yeah,
something
I mean,
like 13K.
yeah, that just so we've got that weekly support at like 13.8, and then we've got the more recent weekly support from this past August at like 12K. And
Hmm.
it just, to me, if everything kind of just takes a huge pullback, it just feels almost too obvious. Like if you like, and by that I mean either I think that's going to get front run, or I think we nuke through it and go a little lower, but it just never seems like it's going to be the simplest way. Like if you
Maximum
pull up a
pain.
weekly chart, yeah, yeah, for as much as that is overused on Twitter, the idea is still is still pretty true. Like if you pull up a weekly chart and let's say you're looking at the run up to 20K from last time. Like we had some support around 4.6 or some weekly support at like 4.6K, and we didn't even stop there in November when we nuked all the way down to the threes. And then there was also like super clear weekly support at 2.9K, and we like didn't quite reach that level. And then we just consolidated between 3 and 4 for a few months. And so, I think something similar could happen. Maybe we like nuke through 13.8, but don't quite get to like 11.5 and consolidate there for a while. Or I also see a scenario where we take out that low from August, like at around 9.7, because that's like the most recent clear support where everyone's like, okay, if we lose this, like Bitcoin's going back to zero, or back to 3K, whatever they want to say. And so I just think it would be pretty poetic if we break below that. Everyone gives up, and then that's the bottom. But we'll
And
see,
and
like
then there's where institutions enter at the massive levels.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if people are buying this much up here, who knows how much drawdown they want to have to endure. So maybe if this thing breaks below 20, maybe some big players start selling. They're like, okay, this is going further. I'm going to buy it lower. And then that cascades the whole market. Big players, people say big players, we can't go down. The stock market goes down, gold goes down. There's plenty of institutions there. They can trade this market both ways.
And probably even better with their experience.
Yeah, definitely. So, but like I said, all that super high time frame stuff is pretty speculative, and um, I'm not going to be the guy that's just like waiting for a bid at 12K to fill. I've been around for 3 years now, so I've been able to accumulate um, a good amount of spot to my standards. And if it dips down again, I'll definitely deploy some more fiat into buying crypto. And if it doesn't, I'll just keep longing on the way up and try and make more through that.
How do you perceive next year is gonna go post Trump era?
Man, that's a good question. So, I mean, I do live in California right now, but I am German. I'm a German citizen. Um, I I grew up there, but then moved here when I was pretty young. And so I don't have a German accent. So when I say I'm a German citizen, people are always like, wait, you sound American. Um, so I don't know. I'm not super invested in American politics, I would say, but I do think like their effect on financial markets is interesting. And I think people put a little bit too much hype in like who's going to be the president and how that's going to affect the market. I don't think there are boardrooms of Fortune 500 companies. They're sitting around their table and they're like, "Well, boys, Biden got elected, so it's time to pack it up. We're done. We're not doing business anymore." Like they're still going to find ways to make money. They're not going to stop companies from being successful, from being profitable, no matter who's in office. Like they're still going to do everything they can do. I don't think a specific president being in office or out of office will like completely just like wreck America. I think that narrative is a little insane. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't really put um, too much into who is the president because I mean, obviously for it matters in terms of policies and stuff like that. But like I said, at the end of the day, all these public companies are going to find a way to be successful. They're going to keep innovating. They're going to keep making new technology and making money. And in turn, the economy and the stock market, I think, will go up. That's kind of how it is.
Cool. Shifting a bit of subjects here, man. This episode is brought to you by PrimeXBT, the exchange that makes possible to trade with leverage on legacy markets from a single Bitcoin-based account. Can you shill us your shitcoins?
Yeah. So, man, what kind of coins are we talking about? You want like, because I'm not like a big gem hunter, I would say, like I've got a few coins that I'm like, wow, these are actually like pretty interesting projects. Like I'll probably hold these for a little bit. And then there are the coins that are like still pretty well known, like they're not just Bitcoin or Ethereum, like the big ones, but they're kind of in that middle tier. Like what are we kind of looking for?
Whatever you feel like shilling.
All right. Well, I'm not shy about this one on Twitter, but I think
Actually,
FTT.
not precisely chilling. Like tell us your bags. Like if you have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
project that's
So
massively interesting to you, what is it? What does it do?
yeah, so I made a thread about this a few weeks ago, but I think I think FTX's exchange token is one of the best coins that you can be holding right now. Um, you're basically betting on SAM, you're betting on FTX, and FTT is the backbone of FTX. They use a bunch of incentive schemes to um, incentivize people to hold FTT. You get discounts on fees. If you stake it, you get a higher referral rate. You can earn some rewards. They burn FTT every week, so the supply is going down. And so I just think FTT is a super useful coin. All these coins, all these projects, they're always like, our idea is to do this and this and this, and then they show you their roadmap. And it's like so many projects aren't actually like doing something right now. They don't have a use case that's in like that's actually being used, whereas FTT, it's like, oh yeah, this coin is actually on FTX. Like you're already getting the rewards of holding it. They're not just like trying to sell you an idea or sell you a dream.
By
And that's what
proxy,
I
do
think
you
a
like
lot of
Serum?
what was that?
By proxy, do you like Serum?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think you can go wrong betting on anything that Sam is involved in right now. A lot of us on Twitter know that he was, I think, like Biden's second biggest donor, so he pulled some, I mean, not necessarily pulled some strings, but he did some big favors for Biden, and with him becoming the new president, maybe he'll be able to get crypto in a good light, or get some kind of, I don't know, get something for FTX. Like, he scratched Biden's back. Maybe Biden owes Sam a couple favors now, and plus Sam is just one of the smartest guys in this space, and I feel like we've seen that over and over, and so I feel more comfortable betting on something like that than something where it's like, I don't know, where you can do some research on their team of devs, but you don't really know anything about them.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty smart move. What other coins you looking at, man?
So I really like FTT, like we just mentioned. I think some DeFi stuff is pretty interesting, but to be honest, like, I'm not a huge fundamental guy. I'm not going to be the guy that can sit here and explain every crypto fundamental thing to you. And so, like, there are a few projects that I think are pretty cool. I think Utrust is a pretty cool project. I post about UTK now and then, because I think they also have a pretty cool use case. It's like a card where you can spend your crypto like that. That can be used today. It's not just a idea. So I think that's a pretty cool one. They're pretty small. I mean, I don't think they're tiny, but that's a good one. And then, I like some coins like, let's see. I think Dot is a pretty good project. Um, I'll probably hold some Link, but for me, the biggest things in my portfolio are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and FTT. And then other stuff, they're kind of like maybe some long shots, give them 1% or something like that. But for the most part, I try and stick to the bigger things. That's just kind of my style. Stick to some of the bigger coins, and then focus on trading versus focusing on digging up the next 10x, 100x.
So no Uniswap gems for you at all?
I have not gotten super into a Uniswap yet.
Focus
Maybe
on your
to my
strengths, I guess.
demise. What was that?
Maybe for your demise.
Yeah, I mean, if everything in Uniswap starts popping off, then I must have made a mistake. But yeah, I guess for now I'm just trying to stick to what I know where my strengths lie.
Yeah. In my experience, have been a few asymmetrical bets on Uniswap gems that probably you don't need to even leverage Degen trade it. So there's a few really good opportunities still on Dexes, especially in Uniswap.
All right. Good to know. I mean, I'm sure I'll start looking into it more one day. Maybe I'll be too late. No, probably not.
Probably not. Do you guys have quarantine there in Cali?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, you're not really supposed to go out and about unless it's for like essential business, whatever that means. That's political talk. And then they're like, oh, you can only travel on certain days or something. Like, coronavirus will just go away on certain days or whatever. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, for certain people, coronavirus is dangerous, but who knows what all the political agendas are that people are trying to push.
Yeah, in my case, we have again full quarantine starting on Friday.
Really?
Friday is 25th.
Um,
Yeah,
I think so.
Friday is
Yeah.
25th. Starting on the 24th is like full quarantine. Like nobody can leave their houses.
Wow.
So at least in my case, excuse me, more time for a deep dive on the Uniswap shitcoins,
There you go.
and maybe
You'll have
same time for you.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know
Oh, for
if you
sure, man.
find anything good.
Yeah. Jumping to the next question. I don't know if you saw today the Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy bought a shit ton of Bitcoin at 21,000 plus. Do you think that's a
Mhm.
legit move or is plainly reckless? Seeing that they
Man,
already had like balls deep into Bitcoin.
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, they probably know more than me. But but it's a big bet, is putting hundreds of millions into something at all-time highs, but hey, maybe I guess they're betting on strength that it keeps pushing for a while. And I don't know, it's just so hard to know with those guys. Like, is this okay? We think it's going to push up to 30K and then we're just going to dump on all of you, or if it's like, oh, we're going to hold this for the next 10 years, you know? So I try to not put too much weight into narratives like that. And I mean, obviously, I know it's real that they're doing that, but like I've kind of been saying earlier in our talk, like I'm just gonna keep focusing on the chart and trading it level to level. And hey, if we keep flipping resistance and consolidating and then getting above range highs, like I'll keep longing it for as long as it works.
If you were the CEO of a major company, would you have done the same thing?
I mean, I would have tried to get some sooner, obviously. Like that's easy for us to say because we've been involved in crypto for 3 years. Um, but like with my personal holdings, I would not buy spot above 20K right now.
Yeah, me neither.
But like I'll keep trading it, and I'll keep longing above 20K, but I'm not gonna put more money into crypto to buy spot where it's currently at.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's reckless. Like they're already balls deep in Bitcoin. Like they had a pretty fucking good entry and now they're buying at 21,000 plus.
Yeah.
Getting in debt to buy those Bitcoins. And I don't know, man. I think they're just overexposed on Bitcoin. They should have at
Yeah, I mean,
least diversified that into maybe, I don't know, silver or gold,
mhm.
like
Yeah, I
less
mean,
risky bets.
mhm. Maybe they are getting a little in over their head. Maybe those buys today were to hold the price up. Maybe they didn't want to buy a ton more. Maybe they just
Or
were like,
maybe
oh,
they
it's
they know
dipping.
something that we don't.
Exactly. You
Like
know,
I don't
that's
know.
why,
Like is it the legal
but that's
tender
why,
of the
like,
U.S. or some
yeah, you
bullshit like
know,
that?
who knows? But yeah, that's exactly why I definitely try to focus on the chart more than like, oh, I wonder if, I mean, it's obviously fun to kind of talk about this stuff and speculate, but in the end, that's exactly what it is. It's just speculation. And it's like, oh, maybe they think this or maybe they think that. Um, it's just hard to, I mean, impossible pretty much to predict exactly what they think or know.
Exactly. What do you think about the Ledger customer data dump that happened? What was it? Saturday,
I think,
Sunday?
yeah, I think that sucks. And I mean, we're seeing all those like leaked emails that people have been getting that this dude's gonna like break into your house and hit you with a wrench. Like, well, I don't think that would actually happen because it's the same email to like hundreds of thousands of people, and that would just take a lot of time. Um, among other reasons why that's probably not gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of scary knowing that all your information could just be leaked like that. Um, I luckily was not a customer of Ledger, and so
You have a
I'm not
Trezor?
too worried about what.
You have a Trezor?
Yeah, I do have a Trezor, but I think like it's crazy to me how a hack this big, like tons of people's information is out there. Everyone's getting emails. They have their addresses, they have their phone numbers, their names, everything hasn't had more of an impact on the price. Like back in the day, this type of news would come out and we would just dump like 20, 30, 40% in a day. And now it's like, oh yeah, a little 4% drop. Yeah. Like it's nothing.
I guess
So,
it was already priced in, I believe. The data hack was on what, July?
really?
And officially, yeah, and
Huh.
officially dumped for free on Saturday, Sunday.
Hmm.
I actually downloaded the whole database to see
Really?
if
To see if,
if it was real,
yeah,
and my whole fucking information is there,
really.
complete, like
Name, address, phone.
address, email, mobile phone, it's everything there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I've talked to a few people who have the same thing. They downloaded and looked and they're like, yep, that's my information. Like that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And I think Ledger hasn't really like played the right move in order to um morally compensate the people that the information get leaked. I guess they're
Yeah.
not in the position due to economical reasons to do any sort of moral compensation, but like, I don't know, man, give everybody that get a hack like a 50, 30, or whatever percentage of discount for a ledger. I don't know, something
Yeah.
insignificant that at least says something
And
like
they,
they really feel bad about they losing such important information. Cold Card
yeah.
today
Have
said
they
that they
said,
were going to um, delete every customer information from their database once
huh,
the item was shipped or was received or something like
interesting.
that. They should do something more proactive to keep
Yeah.
the peace of mind of the customers. But they didn't really
Yeah.
care
I think
about
so
like the
too.
data leak, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is not a good look at all.
Yeah, I'm at least me. I'm pretty disappointed. I've used Ledger since I started in 2017, early 2017.
Hmm.
And it's probably the reason I felt more comfortable to get into crypto, because I knew about Bitcoin back in 2015, but I was like massively paranoid about getting my Bitcoin like hacked or lose my private keys and whatnot. I didn't actually buy like a significant amount until 2017, thanks to Ledger. So like now this happened, and like just bought a brand new ledger because the other one I have was starting to uh be faulty. It didn't turn on and stuff like that. I've been like a really fucking loyal customer. Now that this happened, is like, bro, you fucking with me, man. It's pretty bad.
Hmm. Yeah. It doesn't make you want to stay at all.
No,
And
like,
honestly, I think there is an argument to be made that like your money could be like it might be safer on like a Coinbase or something like that. I don't know.
yeah. James Loop said today like something like it wasn't Ledger's fault that they lose their money. It was customers' fault that they lose customer information because customer trusted Ledger with their information.
That's ridiculous.
Um, that's half true because like there's so many ways they could have protected customer information. Like I used to work at Adidas for many years, and I used to work on e-commerce, and these guys take like go to the massive extent to protect customer information. Like if Adidas can protect customer information, how Ledger is not cannot protect customer information? It's like completely absurd. They dropped the ball at some point in the design of their e-commerce platform. It is complete
Yeah,
bullshit.
100%. I think protecting your customers' information is like the only way you can really like build trust at all with the customer, you know?
Yeah, and the leak, it wasn't like ten of thousands of customer information. It was like 1 million plus emails and like almost 300,000 customers complete address, informations, telephone.
Yeah,
It's pretty. It's a
that's
pretty fucking massive data dump,
yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
to say the least.
And that's why like this is it is absolutely a huge deal. And that's why it's just so surprising to me that like people aren't like dumping Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, Ledger is probably the most sold hardware wallet there that is out there. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure about
I
those
think so.
numbers. They
I think
sold
you're
a
right.
shit ton of Ledger Nano X and Nano S.
Hmm.
And they have pretty good funding, so they do not have an excuse.
Yeah. 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 I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yep. And with that sour note, we end our episode. I'm very happy to have hosted TraderKoz on Point Blank. Thanks for coming on, man. Can you tell us where we can find you?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you here a little bit. Best place to find me is Twitter at TraderKoz. And then if you want more of a filtered view on my analysis, you can join my Telegram, and the link for that is in my Twitter bio.
Awesome, man. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Peace. This episode was brought to you by PrimeXBT, the exchange where you can trade without KYC on legacy markets with your Bitcoin. You can trade commodities like gold, silver, oil, even indexes and forex. Join now and get a 50% bonus on top of your deposit for trading at u.primexbt.com/Panama.